Oh, Brian!
Some encounters on the water leave no chance to escape. A kayaker was suddenly pulled under by a crocodile in one of Africa's deadliest rivers, while years later, divers exploring a frozen shipwreck found a preserved body silently moving through the wreck itself. When the unknown is waiting beneath the surface, how far would you go before turning back?
Oh, mate, you get smashed there. Oi! Oi!
On December 23, 2024, a recording that first appeared to be nothing more than a routine fishing journal at Avoca Beach in New South Wales became a serious survival lesson for anyone who has ever stood along Australia's rocky coastline.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
It's too high there.
Yeah, it's too high there. It's like maybe 12 feet, and the rope is too thin.
You can swim a bit here.
That morning, the ocean appeared calm with only a light breeze barely disturbing the surface. It was the type of day that felt safe, ideal for people who enjoyed rock fishing and believed the conditions were completely manageable. Without any warning, a wave suddenly surged forward. In a single instant, it knocked a man standing near the edge directly into the ocean.
Let go. Let go. Swim out. Go that way.
You have to swim out.
Swim that way.
It's too dangerous there. Fuck, you'll get smashed there.
Go. Hey bro, you gotta let go. Get fucked up to go over there. I think that's it.
Oh. He's getting...
Go over there.
Oh my god. No. Oh mate, you get smashed there. Oi! Oi! So smart, eh?
Yeah, you float. You floating anyway. Don't be scared. Nothing gonna happen. Go. Get it. Go on. Go there.
Transforming an ordinary outing into a life-threatening emergency, the man could not swim. Fortunately, he was wearing a life jacket, which helped keep him afloat while the water churned violently around him. Panic quickly spread as people reacted, throwing a plastic bucket into the water as a makeshift float and trying to guide him away from the crashing waves toward a safer area. During those brief moments, everyone understood that a delay of even a few seconds could have ended with him being dragged beneath the sea.
Maybe throw the bucket with him and he can use it as a floaty. Yeah, that's the way, go that way. Oh my god. That's bloody. Wow. Yeah.
After several minutes struggling against the current, he finally reached a calmer section of water and survived, suffering only minor scrapes, but showing obvious signs of
You want water? You okay? Come back off the rocks if he's taking off his. Keep rest now. Come off the water path. Alright.
emotional shock. Back on the rocks, his friend stood silently watching the ocean, which only moments earlier had looked calm enough that they believed nothing could possibly go wrong. Along the coastline of New South Wales, when waves rise above 2 meters or tidal levels exceed 1.7 meters, areas that appear harmless can quickly become deadly traps. Out on the ocean, the difference between a normal fishing trip and disaster can be a single wave, and moments like this suggest that sudden surges and hidden currents are often underestimated, even in familiar locations. When entering the sea, what do you think matters more in preventing accidents like this experience or preparation? On December 7th, 2010, tragedy unfolded deep within the Congo Basin. A world-class kayaker named Hendriki Kotze, known to his friends as Henry, lost his life in one of the most dangerous rivers on Earth. The Luwala River in the Congo remains wild and unforgiving. Beneath its dark, muddy waters, massive Nile crocodiles wait silently for prey, while hippos can attack without warning. In this isolated region, far from civilization, help is hundreds of miles away. For Henry, danger was never something to avoid. It was something that made him feel alive. Born in a small village in South Africa, Henry grew up surrounded by conflict. His father fought in the border wars, and as a child, Henry often hid beneath his bed while artillery fire shook the family home. Those early experiences may have shaped his future. As an adult, he became one of Africa's boldest explorers, leading expeditions across the Nile, and building a reputation as one of the greatest kayakers of his generation.
Put Henry up there not only with the greatest kayakers of all time, but the greatest explorers, people that you only read about in books.
By late 2009, two American kayakers, Ben Stooksbury and Chris Corbelich, asked Henry to guide them through unexplored tributaries of the Congo. Henry could not resist and agreed to join what would eventually become his final expedition. The team understood the dangers ahead. Local villagers warned them about crocodiles that had developed a taste for human flesh during years of war, when countless bodies had been dumped into the river. In one village alone, residents claimed that more than 100 people had been killed by crocodiles over only 2 decades. Despite the warnings, the trio continued forward.
This is the start of called the supermarket. Lots of rocks for the crocs to Akon. I don't think I've ever gone through here without a charge.
Is where the crocs hang out in order to feed.
Nile crocodiles are huge. They can be up to 20 feet long, and they'll hunt you.
Nile crocodiles are enormous, reaching lengths of up to 20 feet. Describing the wildlife in these rivers as dangerous is almost an understatement. It's estimated that crocodiles kill between 300 and 1,000 people across Africa each year, a number many believe is far higher because of the isolation of rural communities and the lack of official records.
Ben was given the rare chance to go. He prepared for the worst case scenarios.
Hold it across there. Well, the thing is, nobody's told us that we can't do it.
With Henry as their guide, the trio began their 2-month-long expedition. Their starting point was Uganda, along the Ruzizi River, which marks the border between the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda. Eventually, they'd end up in the Lukuga River, where they'd press on for another 700 miles before reaching the end of their journey.
Gorgeous out right now. Jeez. Doesn't adjust.
Everything has gone great. Had a beautiful time. Hopefully, we walk away from this. It's just good memory. And remember, kids, don't cross international borders at home.
When Ben received the rare opportunity to take part, he prepared for worst-case scenarios. Even so, no preparation could truly account for the loss of a close friend. With Henry acting as their guide, the 3 men began their 2-month expedition. They started in Uganda, paddling through the White Nile in Murchison Falls National Park. From there, the journey moved into more unstable territory along the Ruzizi River, which marks the border between the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda, a region shaped by decades of violent conflict and home to powerful predators. Eventually, they reached the Lukuga River, where they planned to continue for another 700 miles, before completing their journey. Up to that point, the expedition unfolded exactly as planned. Despite constant danger, morale remained high-fueled by adventure and the promise of discovery. That changed on December 7th. Henry, Ben, and Chris paddled close together through a narrow channel, while rain fell across the river. As they moved forward, several crocodiles slipped silently beneath the water, their massive forms disappearing below the surface. The kayakers instinctively tightened their formation within a channel less than 200 feet wide. They paddled so closely that their strokes had to alternate carefully to avoid striking one another. It was only a fragile sense of safety. 3 men facing an unseen predator in waters ruled by something far older and more powerful.
We've had a terrible accident here. Henry just got taken by a crocodile.
In an instant, Chris noticed a sudden movement. A massive crocodile, the largest they had seen during the entire expedition, burst from the water and seized Henry. The attack was immediate, brutal, and final. By the time Chris fully realized what had happened, Henry was already gone.
God damn. Damn it. Oh, Henry. Fuck. The crocodile took him right out of his boat.
Hey, no. Wait. Just wait. No. I saw this whole thing happening. You saw it come out of the water. It was big.
I mean, his head was half the size of that kayak. Got him by the shoulder.
Yeah, it was just like, it was right up.
Ben and Chris rushed to a nearby village searching for help. For the locals hardened by years of loss to crocodiles entering the river was unthinkable. To them, the water itself was a death trap. Henry's body was never recovered. For Henry's partner, Juliana Buring, the loss was devastating. She had planned to travel to Uganda later that year to begin a new life with him. Instead, she was left with grief and with the legacy Henry left behind. In the end, Henry died doing what defined him most, pushing into the unknown inside a river that demanded the ultimate price. His story remains a reminder of nature's overwhelming power and a tribute to a man who chose to live at its edge, raising the question of whether experience alone is ever enough when facing forces this wild. In June 2025, Connor and his friend from the YouTube channel Seabass were going through their normal fishing routine, unaware that their entire day was about to change in an instant. It started when Connor noticed an unusual amount of water building up inside the boat. Once they realized the problem was more serious than they originally believed, they immediately began making their way back. The condition of the boat slowly became worse as the rough water continued putting pressure on it. As their gear started shifting around, Connor quickly tried to secure everything. That forced him to remain low for the rest of the trip, understanding that one bad movement could easily throw him overboard.
Put it right on the fucking boat ramp. All right. Put it on the boat ramp. Yeah.
Eventually, they reached shore where they were able to find people who could assist them.
We need your trailer. We're sinking. We're sinking. We're sinking bad. Holy shit.
The incident became a reminder that once you're out on open water, anything can go wrong without warning. If something suddenly failed in the middle of the ocean, would you be ready for it? On March 31st, 2019, Mr. Tightlines, a fishing YouTuber from New Hampshire recognized for kayak fishing, uploaded a video from a trip with his nephew Brian during one of their first outings of the season. The atmosphere feels positive and relaxed, but neither of them realizes the day is about to become far more serious. At first, the conditions appear perfect, with clear skies, calm water, and a couple of solid fish already caught. However, beneath the peaceful surface sits a major danger. The water temperature has fallen below 60 degrees, something that should never be underestimated. When Brian catches a fish and needs assistance removing the hook, Mr. Tightlines paddles toward him, and that is when everything suddenly starts going wrong.
At this point, Brian's caught a fish and needs help unhooking it, so I start to head over toward him, and this is when all hell breaks loose. Oh yeah, he's 2.5. Let me hold this pole here, or what? Yours. Okay, now, yeah, you hold on to me. Issue number 1: whenever you catch a fish, click open your spool. That way, if anything happens, at least your spool is giving you line. You gotta click the button. Oh no, hold me. You didn't hold me. At this point, his most important thing to do is hold on to me as I'm anchored, and he needs to not go anywhere, and then open the spool. But as he has not opened the spool first, and he's realizing he should have the spool open, he lets go of me, and well, you see what happens. Let the paddle float off if you have to. Okay.
Kayak, man.
Oh, Brian! Oh, that sucks. Yeah, you definitely hate kayaks now. Where's your phone? Hold my kayak. Come over here. Don't worry about that kayak. That was stupid. Get up on me, dude. Nice. Hold my kayak. Don't worry about anything else. That's bad.
So right here, I'm trying to figure out exactly what the order of operations should be. I know that the materialistic items are irrelevant, but I figure the immediate ones near me need to come on board, and he needs to hold on to my kayak.
All right, I got a pole over there floating still. That's good. You all right, dude?
I was having a panic attack.
Yeah, no panic attacks. You're all right. All right. Okay.
Something to consider, there was mega amounts of milfoil in this area. I mean 3-4 solid feet and tons of soot, muck bottom. He would have had some issues if he didn't have something solid to hold on to.
Are your feet touching?
Sort of.
Sort of. It's mushy.
Yeah.
This is very interesting, Brian.
I'm drifting off this spot. I can't let the kayak get away.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.
I can't. My phone's in it.
Oh.
Fuck, I'm drifting off this spot again.
Trying to get all this out of the...
I'm gonna have a panic attack.
Huh?
I'm gonna have a panic attack.
No panic attacks. Worst case scenario, you get on my kayak, we go in. All right. Stage at a time. You hold my kayak. I got this one for now. Okay? We're gonna have to, well, that pole that's under us is gone. Your phone should be in here. Let's get you to shore, and then we'll worry about everything else. We'll pull this along with us. Okay. That's the only idea I have. So you gotta have to go up on here. I'll hold this.
How can I get up there?
You're gonna have to jump up. You're gonna have to pull yourself up onto the kayak. We don't want to roll this kayak, so let's just take our time. Give me this in like this. Here you go, bud. Come on, man. We got this.
Let's watch again down in the bottom left-hand corner how much water I take on and how this Bonafide holds up. Mind you, I am 265 pounds, 6 foot 3 inches. I don't remember. He's about 5'10". I don't know. I'm terrible at guessing weight. But I know my weight. And I know there was a lot of weight being moved in along this. And I have a lot of weight and gear. This is a testament to this amazing kayak.
Don't. Easy. Think balance. Okay. Think still, okay? First thing I gotta do is get you the in.
A brief chain of mistakes causes Brian to lose balance and overturn his kayak, throwing him directly into the freezing water. He immediately panics as his equipment sinks below the surface. For more than 5 stressful minutes, he stays in the cold water, rapidly losing body heat until he is finally pulled onto Mr. Tightline's kayak. They eventually make it back to shore safely, but the experience leaves a lasting impression. Calm water can still hide serious danger. If help had arrived even 1 minute later, how differently could this story have ended? In early 2024, a crew of cruising Kiwis were sailing through the remote waters off northern Brazil when a fishing boat appeared on the horizon and started moving directly toward them.
This boat's been from a long way away out on the horizon when we first saw it. It's been tracking right on collision course for the last 10-15 minutes. It's getting closer and closer. I don't like it actually, I really don't like it. It just doesn't feel right. I don't know what it is.
At first it looked like any normal vessel passing nearby, but the situation soon began to feel different. This did not seem like a routine encounter. The crew had recently heard about an incident in Lynn's Choice where a similar fishing vessel had approached and targeted a boat anchored in the area.
9 knots.
Yeah, 8-9 knots.
We're going quicker, yeah.
Work with the Bashka Easter?
Oh, I feel they've got the wood on them slightly, you know. They've just turned to starboard slightly, and as a result, they're moving back on the horizon ever so slightly. Ever so slightly. Oh, they've just straightened up again. No, they've veered away again, okay. I don't know what the heck, it's very odd. We don't know what their intention is. We've tried to call them on VHF radio. We've had no response. No response at all. It has held, it's maintained its course, getting closer and closer to us. Actually, they've just done a turn to starboard. Wouldn't you believe it? Now they're going to track behind us. They have just this second. Maybe they follow our YouTube channel and are seeing that we've gone live. That is crazy. Okay, they're going back to port again. Wow. Okay. That is a little bit unnerving. You can hear the engines now. Yeah, no, they're coming back on course to us again.
I can see guys on board.
Yep. Well, do you want to get some flares handy?
Oh yeah, good, please.
Are they rocket flares though?
Yeah, they're rockets.
Okay. These guys are definitely in pursuit of us.
I think they're slower.
Yeah, I think we're just slightly faster, aren't we? Why would they want to pursue us? We've got a reef in the main. I wish we had the full main. The sun is close to setting. We're very anxious about it though. We feel, always conscious that, well, this could be something to be worried about, but we've always gone, oh no, that's all right. These guys, mate, they have definitely, what the friggin' Nora, they've got a little sail up too. Does anyone know what this boat is?
This fishing vessel is looking pretty light on fishing gear. Usually when you see them, they have nets and flags and buoys all setting up the back of the boat. You know, the fishing boats usually have all the fishing gear at the back of the boat.
Yeah, no fishing gear at all.
These guys have nothing.
We seem to be faster. As long as the wind don't drop out, they can't catch us, hopefully. They're certainly following us, following our every move. Right behind us now.
They are hot in pursuit. They're going flat out.
I was just saying that what if they follow us until the wind drops?
Yeah, that's the thing, the wind could drop tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, they're turning. Oh, they're turning. Rob has got a rope here. What you got that rope there for, Rob?
The wrap around the prop is a bit close to us. Once the wraps around the prop, coming free, then we just started.
No, they're still pursuing us, eh? Yeah, okay, they're on their way. Yes. Yep, they're turning away. They could easily come back, yeah. I'm sure there's nothing to worry about, but given what happened several days ago.
As the boat moved closer, the crew could hear its engines and notice people on board watching them. The vessel maintained its course and kept reducing the distance. The crew tried contacting the boat over VHF radio, but no response ever came. The fishing vessel changed direction several times while continuing to mirror their movements. The situation quickly became disturbing, as it seemed the boat was intentionally following them. As the sun started setting, the crew became increasingly uncomfortable. The fishing boat also appeared unusually light, with no visible fishing gear. Normally, vessels like this carried nets, flags, and buoys along the stern, but this one carried none of them. The boat stayed directly behind them, following the same course. As long as the wind remained steady, the sailing vessel appeared slightly faster, but the fishing boat continued the pursuit as though waiting for conditions to change. If the wind died down, the situation could rapidly become dangerous. The tension on board kept rising until finally, after more than 40 minutes of constant tracking, the boat slowly began falling behind. The crew then made a critical decision to run dark, shutting off all navigation lights, to avoid revealing their position. Throughout the night, they stayed on course while carefully monitoring the other vessel. Only after arriving in French Guiana and showing photographs of the boat to local fishermen did they realize how close they may have come to danger. The fishermen warned them the vessel was believed to be connected to pirates involved in smuggling and contraband activity. Fortunately, the sailors crossed into French territory without any further issues. The experience became a powerful reminder that, although many encounters at sea are harmless, traveling through remote waters always demands caution, preparation, and awareness. If you were alone in open water and another boat silently began following you, would you know when it was simple curiosity or something far more dangerous? In December 1927, the SS Kamloops fought its way through a violent winter storm on Lake Superior. Temperatures had fallen to nearly 40 degrees below zero. What the crew could never have known was that the voyage would leave behind a disturbing legacy that people would still talk about decades later. The small package freighter was hurrying to complete one final trip before the shipping season ended. During the journey, the vessel disappeared into heavy curtains of ice and snow near Ile Royale. From that moment forward, no one would see the ship above the surface again for almost 50 years. The Kamloops remained untouched at the bottom of Lake Superior until 1977, when Minnesota divers Ken Engelbrecht and Randy Salter made a discovery that would soon transform the wreck into a legend among divers. They located the vessel in late August. One of the first questions that entered their minds was why the lifeboat had never been launched. Scattered luggage and abandoned clothing suggested that both passengers and crew had almost no time to react before the disaster occurred. As the divers explored deeper into the wreck, they encountered more and more debris filling the corridors, making it difficult to move between rooms. Some believed the wreckage pointed to a violent sinking, while others argued the debris could simply be the natural result of decades of decay beneath the water. It was also possible the ship had been torn apart either by heavy ice or by the powerful storm itself. On September 5th and 6th, Engelbrecht captured the first photographs clearly revealing the name Kamloops on the rust-covered stern. But the most unsettling discovery waited deeper inside the ship. The divers discovered what would later become known as Old Whitey, believed to be the ship's engineer TW variety. Because of a rare post-mortem process called adipocere, the freezing waters of Lake Superior preserved the body like a natural freezer. Soft tissue still clung to the bones, leaving the corpse with pale, ghost-like skin that remained disturbingly intact. Old Whitey was not lying on the floor of the engine room. The body remained upright. According to roughly 50 divers who have explored the wreck since then, Old Whitey does not stay in one fixed location. The shifting currents of Lake Superior slowly move the preserved body through different parts of the ship, sometimes appearing in entirely new areas during later dives. Some divers even claim the body appears to follow them through the wreck. Whether this is simply caused by underwater currents or something more difficult to explain, the sight left a lasting impact on those who encountered it. Over time, a strange tradition developed within the diving community. Some began referring to it as a rite of passage to descend to the Kamloops and shake Old Whitey's hand, physically touching the preserved remains of a man who died in a horrifying disaster half a century earlier. Today, the Kamloops still rests where it sank, a frozen tomb, hidden in the darkness of Lake Superior. Old Whitey is said to remain inside the engine room, drifting silently through the empty corridors, while new divers continue descending in search of their own rite of passage. Sometimes the lake preserves history in ways that feel almost impossible to believe. But if the currents can slowly move a body throughout the wreck over time, what else might still be shifting through the dark water below? That's it for tonight. Which moment creep? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story, share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.